Good morning, gamers. Welcome back to the Game Shop's basement, where we're working on presenting to you the next of the LOFT character classes. So we finished the basic 4 from the free OSE basic rules, Cleric, Fighter, Magic User, Thief. We did another free bonus one, the Necromancer, that was put out for the 10th anniversary of OSE for free. Now we're getting into the advanced classes from OSE Advanced. I will put a link to the OSE Advanced Player's Tome down in the doodly-doo. Let's get rolling. So today we're going to talk about a character class that was really officially in our favorite game for only about half of an edition. So back in the 1980s, a little book came out called Unearthed Arcana. And a lot of people kind of look back at the original Unearthed Arcana as like D&D 1.5. Unearthed Arcana was divided into 2 sections. The first section was a player's handbook expansion. The second section was a Dungeon Master's Guide expansion. And Unearthed Arcana brought into the game, officially for the first time, the Barbarian, for example, and the Cavalier, and added a lot of spells that have just become staples to every edition of the game thereafter. One of the things that was put in the Unearthed Arcana 1.5 was the Acrobat, or technically it was called the Thief Acrobat. It was described as a thief split class, because the idea is that the Acrobat would be like a cat burglar or a second story worker, something like that. And of course, there was a famous D&D cartoon in the 80s that had a very popular Acrobat character. Now, I say that this character class was in the game only for about half an edition, because by the time 2nd edition came out, the idea of the designers, developers there, was that acrobatics could just be rolled into the skill system. And that's where acrobatics has been in D&D ever since. The skills, pole vaulting, tightrope walking, contortionism, doing flips in combat, all that kind of stuff, tumbling, all that kind of stuff has been in the game, since this Unearthed Arcana in the 80s 1.5 thing that I'm talking about, but it hasn't existed since then as its own separate character class. It kind of got rolled into the skill system. I guess they decided that as long as you weren't in heavy armor, anybody could tumble, or anybody could learn to flip, or anybody could learn to tightrope walk. So that's... Yeah, and there have been players at the table over the past 40 years that have really enjoyed acrobatic characters. Hasn't necessarily been a separate class. Well, now that's all changed. Old School Essentials has brought the Acrobat back as a separate class, and it's not Thief-Acrobat anymore. It's just Acrobat, so it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with being a cat burglar or a second story worker or anything of that nature. So an acrobat is just someone who has honed their mind-body coordination into shape that they do things that shock and astound all of us. Sometimes things that, make this old man's back hurt in sympathy pain. But, I'm not sure my joints could take that. But anyway, so yes, in most cases, I think acrobats would definitely be young people, unless your race is very long-lived and filled with lots of youthful energy for many, many years. I'm looking at you, elves. But, check out the Acrobat if you're looking for something different to play. They are, in the Old School Essentials Advanced Player's Guide. Link in the doodly-doo below. So, in the meantime, people are asking me for more and more of these videos every day on Discord, and I'm kind of committed to putting out at least one a day until we get through all of the character types, and there are way more. So we did OSE Basic, we did the OSE Free 10th Anniversary Necromancer, now we're going through the OSE Advanced classes, and we're not stopping there. So there is lots to play in the LOFT project. Check it out in the doodly-doo below. That stands for Largest Online Role-Playing Tabletop Ever. So, in the meantime, I will see you around the gaming table.